This is our environmental leadership program. We've been in place since the late 90s. We had a 2-year hiatus because of COVID, but one of the things I'm so excited about is it's come back with a bang. You know, all of these projects are worthy in some form or fashion. When it comes to composting, when it comes to rainwater and stormwater abatement, when it comes to the way we move our goods and services, and when it comes to litter abatement. Everybody has had something positive happening, and I'm just really excited about it. You know, so as I told them, I'm going to give them a pat on the back because we don't normally get that when it comes to environmental sustainability. If we all do what's been done here today, then our planet is going to be what we want it to be: sustainable, green, and energy efficient. I collect rainwater and I use it to water my garden. What better way to do it? I've had a compost before. I look at my trips and how I can minimize transportation costs. So all of us has a little piece that adds up to a win for everybody. Louisiana is always in a catch-up mode, and I've tried to make sure that we were always ahead of the curve. And I think this is important because the group that we have here can continue to grow, and then all it takes is just creativity and some sweat equity. Overall, I'm almost speechless. You wouldn't know that from what I'm saying, but it's just the way that everybody has come back with a bang, and come back with projects that are making a real difference.
The Port of New Orleans is so excited to be receiving this Environmental Leadership Program Award. The Container on Barge service is a great example of the greenest mode of transportation being put into place. So the barge service moves containers from the Port of Baton Rouge to the Port of New Orleans. Otherwise, these containers would be moving on our highways. So annually, this service reduces highway miles by 2.4 million miles per year, saves 400,000 gallons of fuel, and reduces CO2 emissions by 10,000 metric tons per year. So it's a great example of environmental leadership, port partnership in Louisiana, embracing a solution that is innovative, that is something that is market driven. Our customers are embracing initiatives that decarbonize their own supply chains, and so we're able to offer a solution that meets their environmental goals and also their market related goals. It's so important for Louisiana to look at how we can decarbonize across all types of industries, and Louisiana is one of 2 states that has container on barge of any scale. So it's Virginia and Louisiana. So we actually have the largest container on barge network in the whole country. So we touch Memphis, St. Louis, Baton Rouge, and New Orleans with our service. So we are really committed to the growth of this service. It's important because it has so many green benefits. It reduces highway maintenance and congestion. It's safer, it's greener, and the customers are looking for these types of solutions.
This is the Environmental Leadership Program Award ceremony where Compost Now is just awarded Outstanding Achievement. And we got to hear about a lot of the other organizations that are doing really incredible work. If we all work together, and not just for composting and all of these environmental issues, and create more of a cohesive network, that we can create real change and better support each other. Louisiana in particular is facing the problem of subsidence, where we're sinking and then sea level is rising. So creating soil that can be used to build back the land is incredibly important. And we also have really high levels of lead and other heavy metal contamination. So compost helps rehabilitate the soil, boosting plant growth, sequestering carbon, and connecting people. We're always looking for help with volunteers and just physically maintaining the compost space, and then raising awareness about our programs. We're always looking to connect with more community gardens that are willing to compost and help support them through that process.
Welcome to LDEQ's annual Environmental Leadership Program Awards. I am Denise Bennett, Deputy Secretary for the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality, and your MC for today. What I'd like to do is call up the presenter of our awards today, Dr. Chuck Carr-Brown, who is the Secretary for the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality.
To give you a little history about our ELP program, Environmental Leadership, it was established in 1995, of course, and ultimately reached our stride in 1997. The program is voluntary and is open to any company, federal entity, municipality, non-governmental organization, school, or university that is committed to improving the quality of the state's environment. Due to COVID, we had to cancel the programs in 2020 and 2021. And so I'm very happy to be back with you again this year. All right, so today we're going to celebrate environmental projects that collectively has, realized over 600 tons of CO2 reductions annually, has diverted hundreds of tons of different kinds of waste from landfills, made significant strides in reducing energy use, repurposed waste, and reduced water consumption. We hope that by our commitment to this event that the awardees can network and leverage learnings from these environmental projects. So that's the formal part of what I wanted to say. But what I do want to tell you is that we appreciate everybody that submits a project. I think we were bordering on 40 projects that were submitted. I know that the municipalities or the entities that we represent or represented here today, they go above and beyond. You all know that we have a climate action plan that was just passed in the state of Louisiana. So how significant that is for this red state in the Deep South to actually have passed a climate action plan. And when I go just right across the state line into Texas, it's a dirty word. You know that, and then we're not an island. You know, Louisiana, we can't accomplish our goals without me having my regional partners involved. So if I don't have Mississippi, Arkansas, and Texas, then ultimately we're never going to reach where we want to get to. But for us to not only have passed a plan, when I talk to my counterparts in Texas, they have to even talk to their governor about can they actually talk about carbon sequestration and raising the amount per ton for CO2. So it is significant what we do here, and everything that you've done is just a small contribution to all of our efforts that we move forward. I was actually on a call the other day with some folks with the Keystone Energy Board. It's one of the boards I sit on. And this young lady was talking about hydrogen and how hydrogen is going to be significant. Well, Louisiana is going to be one of probably the only 4 hydrogen hubs in the country. But one of the things she talked about, and everything is always talking about equity. And I know everything that you are doing has that word associated with it. But when they talk about hydrogen hub, she used marginal communities, and then she used poor air quality. And I have to correct her. And I'm like, wait a minute. You know, every air quality measure that EPA uses, Louisiana's an attainment for every one of them. There's only 15 other states in the country that can say that. But because it's historically been one of those issues that, oh, they point to Louisiana, they point to the amount of industry that we have, they automatically think that we have poor air quality, which we are far from that. So when I talk to my counterparts in Colorado and California, they're nowhere close to the air quality that we have in this state today, and every one of us in this room has contributed to that success. So I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of all the projects that will be presented today. I will turn it back over to Denise, and I will stand here and hand you your certificate and smile for the camera.
New member recognition. As Dr. Brown stated, we have 40 new members that have joined since 2019. Our total membership right now is 300. We have here today a few of the new members that are in attendance. Dr. Brown would like to acknowledge the new members that are here and hand them a certificate of membership. Abita Brewing Company, that's here. Louisiana Clean Fuels. We have the New Orleans Ernest in Memorial Convention Center. Pinnacle Polymers. We have Tangipahoa Parish Government. We have Westdale Heights Academic Magnet. Woodlands Conservancy. Woodlands Conservancy. Thank you all. I'll just give a brief summary of the projects, and if after that you guys could come forward to receive your award from Dr. Brown, we'd also love to hear from you as well. Alliance Compressors chose to upgrade the assembly area of their plant by replacing over 760 fluorescent lights with light-emitting diodes, or LEDs as they're commonly known. LED lighting provides many environmental advantages, including being energy efficient, up to 80% more efficient than fluorescent or incandescent. In fact, 95% of the energy in LEDs is converted to light. 5% is wasted in heat, and that's just the opposite for fluorescent and incandescent. Alliance estimates that their reduction in electrical energy equals to approximately 180 tons of carbon dioxide annually, a meaningful reduction in the plant's carbon footprint. Please join Dr. Brown in congratulating Alliance Compressors for receiving the ELP Recognition Award in the Pollution Prevention category.
A little about Alliance Compressors. We're located in Natchitoches, Louisiana. Our facility is about a 410,000 square foot facility. We employ 6,700 people, and we've been busy. So since this submittal, we've actually upgraded a total of 1,600 lights in the facility to LED. We've doubled the carbon footprint reduction, and we've acquired $70,000 to $80,000 in savings on energy each year.
According to the National Center for Education Statistics, by the third quarter of 2000, 67% of elementary and secondary classes had been moved to distance learning format due to COVID-19. 59% reported that computers were provided to the children by the school districts or by the children's school. Capital Area Corporate Recycling Council filled this urgent need in Louisiana for students and working adults to have access to affordable technology to stay connected to virtual school, remote jobs, and to stay informed of world and local developments. Capital Area Corporate Recycling Council reopened their doors by appointment to get the computers into the hands of those who needed it most. In an 8-month period of 2020, the Capital Area Corporate Recycling Council distributed almost 1,400 computers to families in need, seniors, first responders, and local small businesses. In this effort to meet the needs of the community, the Capital Area Corporate Recycling Council diverted 602 tons of electronic waste from landfills. By 2021, the Capital Area Corporate Recycling Council had diverted 2.7 million pounds of electronics from the landfill, and they continue to do this important work of electronic recycling today. The Capital Area Corporate Recycling Council is the only R2 certified e-waste recycler in Louisiana and have received national recognition as the gold standard for responsible recycling of electronics. Please join Dr. Brown in congratulating the Capital Area Corporate Recycling Council for receiving the ELP Recognition Award in the Community Environmental Outreach category.
Well, we're really honored to have received recognition for the computer distribution effort. CACRC has been in Baton Rouge for over 20 years. We've been around for a long time. Most of the time we're happy to be sort of running in the background. We're happy to do our day-to-day recycling and computer distributions, but I think every person here probably remembers where they were in March of 2020. I think every person remembers when the world shut down. We shut down as well. We were all unsure, uncertain, scared, didn't know what was going to happen. But one thing became very, very clear, and it was the amount of people who did not have the ability to stay connected. So we got back to work as soon as possible. We were deemed an essential business, so we were able to get back to work as soon as possible. And a lot of the local businesses, statewide businesses, answered that call by donating a lot of equipment. We had a grant partnership, and we were able to get out almost 1,400 computers in an 8-month period. So it was very rewarding, very humbling, And yeah, we're excited going forward. You know, in the future, we're going to keep doing these kind of projects. We'll continue to make partnerships, and we'll keep doing as much as we can do for as long as we can do it. So, and I would be remiss not to say that I have a very, very hardworking and dedicated staff of 17 employees. And I mean, they are the best. And most of them have been with me since even prior to COVID, and they stuck around. You know, they stuck around when the work got heavy and the work got hard. And they are really great, and they're a great team of people. And thank you so much.
The ExxonMobil Baton Rouge refinery took the initiative to utilize the newly promulgated recycling exclusions included in the revised definition of solid waste rulemaking to create more sustainable outlets for petroleum refining materials. The new definition of solid waste exclusions allows certain petroleum refining materials to be reclaimed at facilities other than at the petroleum refinery where it was generated. ExxonMobil Baton Rouge refinery recognized this as an opportunity to significantly reduce the site's hazardous waste generation. This initiative resulted in an 88% decrease in hazardous waste generation over a 3-year period. And the definition of solid waste rule also allowed the site to reclaim over 33 million pounds of hazardous secondary materials since 2019. Please join Dr. Brown in congratulating ExxonMobil Solutions Baton Rouge Refinery for receiving the ELP Recognition Award in the Pollution Prevention category for their Baton Rouge Refinery Recycling of Hazardous Materials project.
It's an honor, greatly appreciated. You know, we're always challenged by you, by our own leadership, to be more sustainable, to recycle. I think as we're all aware, it's very hard to recycle. People think you just send things to recycle. It's difficult. There's no market. So when exclusions like this come, we recognize this exclusion. We took advantage of it. These are a lot of these are materials that would have otherwise ended up in incineration or haz waste landfill, all beneficially recycled either for recovering the all-bearing material or for metals reclamation and recycling. And one thing I'd like to note is one of the biggest haz waste streams that come out of a refinery is your hydrotreating catalyst, billions of pounds a year, especially for a facility the size of the Baton Rouge refinery. That's a very significant stream. We have gotten down to where this past year we are 0 pounds of hydrotreating catalyst that goes for disposal. It all gets recycled as an HSO.
The New Orleans Ernest N. Memorial Convention Center, also known as NOMCC, regularly hosts conferences, trade shows, sporting events, and are known for high-profile events such as charity galas and carnival balls. But now they're also talking trash. The center recently completed their first ever event waste audit in pursuit of a Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, a LEED certification. During the Specialty Coffee Expo in October, employees, also known as their trash team, sifted through over 400 pounds of representative waste materials to evaluate how well the center was performing in diverting waste from landfills. A mix of trash, recycling, and composting bins were collected during a 24-hour period and then sorted by hand into representative waste materials groups, such as plastics, compostables, landfill waste, etc., to determine whether the waste materials were placed in their proper disposal bins. The audit revealed a 52% diversion rate of waste from landfills. Staff applied their newfound knowledge toward improving the facility's recycling program. They doubled the footprint for the center attendees to recycle. They added plastic and increased pallet and cardboard recycling, and even piloted composting in the public spaces and exhibit halls. NOMCC reached a much larger audience in the community by talking trash, sharing with the community best practices in recycling and educating the public about how waste audits work and to realize measurable improvements in environmental performance.
I'll be brief because I really want to highlight our rock star that's made all of our sustainable successes possible. But I'm Adam Strait, Vice President of Operations at the Center. And beyond, on behalf of the executive leadership team, thank you very much for recognizing what we've done over the last couple of years. It goes without saying that we want to be leaders in this area, and we are. And we intend to be in the future as well. So after bringing on Linda almost 3 years ago, one of the things I told her is I want to brag. I don't think we do that enough. I want everyone to know what we've been doing, and I don't want our hard work to go unnoticed. So guess what? We're going to brag on this one. And I'll leave you with this. We ain't done yet. So
Availability of container equipment to load cargo is a top concern for Louisiana exporters. Over 500,000 export cargo containers originate in the greater Baton Rouge area, creating a critical mass of users for a container on barge, or COB, service. Prior to COB services, trucking was the mode of transportation available to move containers from Baton Rouge to Port Nola for international export. In 2016, Port Nola first partnered with the Port of Greater Baton Rouge and a container on barge service provider to launch a container on barge, or COB, service between Memphis, Baton Rouge, and New Orleans. Port Nola, Port of Greater Baton Rouge, and the COB service provider received 2 American Marine Highway grants from the United States Maritime Administration to support investment in COB services. In 2020 and 2021, over 14,000 containers were moved via barge between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, which directly translates to significant industry, community, and environmental benefits. Because one barge holds up to 36 40-foot containers, and one tug can push up to 10 barges per trip. That's 360 containers being moved. Each one-way trip per container is a reduction of 86 truck highway miles between ports. So each loaded barge trip reduces truck highway usage by 30,000 miles. Based on container logs, more than 3,700 container moves were made per quarter in 2020 and 21. Thus, the COB service reduced wear and tear on Louisiana highway infrastructure, mitigated roadway congestion, and lowered carbon dioxide emissions by over 800 tons during this period. Another significant contribution in reducing greenhouse gases. Please join Dr. Brown in congratulating the Port of New Orleans for receiving the ELP Recognition Award in the Pollution Prevention category for their Container on Barge American Marine Highway Emissions Reduction Project.
Well, thank you so much to Dr. Brown and team and DEQ. I think as y'all can see by our numbers how excited we are about this service and about this award. So this is truly a team effort with our partners. We have several of us from the Port of New Orleans here. Amanda is our Director of Trade and Economic Development. Mike Stolzman is our Chief Operating Officer. Adrian Lopez is our data analyst. Lori Louvier is our Commercial Manager focused on exports and has been very involved in working with our exporters as well as Secor AMH in getting this service started back in 2016. Greg Johnson is the Commercial Director at the Port of Baton Rouge, who's our partner port. So at Greg's facility, the exports are loaded by Keith Palmisano, who's with Ports America. They're the largest stevedoring company in the United States. So Keith is both loading the containers in Baton Rouge, and then they're transited by Secor AMH with Rich Tubner here. So actually the container on barge service provider, and then Ports America is also unloading the barges at the Port of New Orleans. And then Matt Montalvo is representing CMA CGM, which is the third largest container ocean carrier based in Marseille. So CMA is very much the pioneer in this. And so as you can see, it's truly a win-win-win. Win for Louisiana. Barge is the greenest mode of transportation It was very much market-driven and driven by our customers. And as you can see, a true great example of a public-private partnership.
Anything dumped or dropped on the ground or in the storm drain can end up in the nearest body of water. Stormwater pollution results from materials and chemicals that get into the storm drains from streets, gutters, neighborhoods, parking lots, construction sites, and industrial sites, and illicit dumping into storm drains. The Jefferson Parish Department of Environmental Affairs created the Jefferson Parish Environmental Stewardship Program in response to the numerous complaints they were receiving regarding illicit dumping into storm drains. Under the program, the Jefferson Parish Department of Environmental Affairs' goal is to educate on how to prevent pollutants from reaching waterways. The Jefferson Parish Department of Environmental Affairs developed and conducted workshops for owners and operators of industrial and high-risk facilities, or I&HRFs, as one educational training method. A total of 4 educational workshops were held, 2 in-person meetings in October of 2019 and 2 virtual meetings in August of 2020. Educational materials were distributed at the workshops, at other events attended by Jefferson Parish Environmental Affairs staff, and when conducting inspections of I&HR facilities. The program's success is measured by the number of IHRF-related complaints tallied each year, the number of violations issued to I&HRFs, and an increased public awareness of the environmental consequences related to specific activities that contribute to stormwater pollution. The number of complaints to the Jefferson Parish Department of Environmental Affairs has decreased 35% since this project implementation. The department also established the annual Environmental Stewardship Award to recognize industries and business in Jefferson Parish that demonstrate environmentally friendly stormwater practices and are leading the community by example. Please join Dr. Brown in congratulating the Jefferson Parish Environmental Affairs for receiving the ELP Achievement Award in the Community Environmental Outreach category for their Jefferson Parish Environmental Stewardship Program project.
This is very encouraging. Everybody is very limited on resources, on manpower and everything, and education and understanding of crucial issues like this one, the stormwater world, like ours, can go a long way. We can have our, citizens to be our eyes. We can have our civic association, schools, churches, and so on, to be out there, telling us what we don't see, what we could see. So we're very excited. I want to thank the Lake Pontchartrain Restoration Program for the beautiful grant. I want to thank all our partners, governmental and non-governmental. I see Christy and Dr. Brady here from the Lake Pontchartrain Conservancy Association, and we're very excited to work with everybody that would help our purposes. The more partners you have, the more friends you have, the more powerful you are.
The New Orleans Ernest N. Morial Convention Center has made sustainability a top priority and is taking steps to reduce environmental impacts. While the coronavirus pandemic impacted hosting events in 2020, the Morial Convention Center took advantage of the downtime through 2021 and made critical facility upgrades that will reduce their environmental footprint and in turn help make the facility a leader in sustainable events. One of the things they did was switched out 8,000 fixtures to energy efficient high-tech LED lighting. This represents one of the largest energy savings and lighting upgrades in the entire state. They worked with Entergy New Orleans, Entergy Smart Program, to receive incentives to help fund energy savings. Energy savings include a 15 to 20% reduction in energy use and a corresponding decrease in cooling energy consumption and water consumption. They increased the number of recycling bins available in the center and streamlined labeling systems for all recycling across the building. They upgraded the public restrooms and installed low-flow fixtures that use less water and installed efficient bottle filling stations outside the restrooms, which provide chilled and filtered water. They opened a 7.5-acre pedestrian park that created a lush green space, including walkways, a water feature, decorative festoon, lighting, and a mile-long track of unique and varied spaces for outdoor events. In the park, stormwater is managed by channeling rainwater into rain gardens, bioswales, and tree plantings, reducing the impact on the drainage system and providing natural irrigation to plants. Please join Dr. Brown in congratulating the New Orleans Ernest N. Morial Convention Center for receiving the ELP Achievement Award in the Pollution Prevention category for their major energy and water reduction projects at the center. Thank you.
I want to highlight Linda Bain. She's our Director of Awesomeness, aka Sustainability, and she's what made all of this happen. So Linda can say.
Okay, thank you. So, and I'm Linda Bain. I'm Director of Sustainability and Corporate Social Responsibility, and I'm still not sure if you introduced yourself.
I did.
This is Adam Strait, VP of Operations and also Director of VP of Awesomeness, because he's also in charge of all of these upgrades. For the record, I did not change any light bulbs, not one light bulb, but we did change over 4,000 fixtures just in our exhibit hall alone and did all these upgrades. We're expecting a lot of major reductions in our energy and water use. But as you can see from the previous slide, we also have been celebrating and engaging the community still. So we had a tour of 50 energy experts in the building a couple weeks ago, invited them in, we had media. So we're really trying to share what we're doing in the building, and you all are welcome to come down and come see and fill your water bottles and see our new pedestrian park and enjoy the facility. We're trying to make it a better place for the whole state.
The Tangipahoa Parish government has partnered with the community, which includes private companies, the parish school board, the sheriff's office, and other organizations and individuals to help address pollution prevention through pollution control initiatives and litter abatement. The parish government has come together with its partners to replicate programs that help to abate, reduce, recycle, enforce, and educate the public about environmental concerns and opportunities in the community. This includes the use of the patented litter getter vessel, which are placed in local streams and rivers. They corral litter for removal from the waterways. The litter getter has contributed to the removal of hundreds of bags and tons of trash, debris, tires, and white goods from rivers and streams, much of which is recycled. One litter getter in Ponchatoula Creek collected 208 pounds of debris and 743 pounds of litter in 1 year. Almost 30% of this litter was recycled and the other 70% disposed of properly. The two other litter getters are located in Yellowwater River and Sellers Creek, and the community is seeing a positive visible difference in the debris-free waterways. No doubt that the parish's funding of a full-time Keep Tangipahoa Beautiful program coordinator dedicated to organizing and administering litter and environmental-related programs, code enforcement staff, surface water testing, and public outreach events makes a significant difference. Please join Dr. Brown in congratulating the Tangipahoa Parish government for receiving the ELP Achievement Award in the pollution prevention category for their Tangipahoa Parish Waterway Enhancement or Litter Vessel Project.
I'm Robbie Miller, I'm Tangipahoa Parish President. I'm going to introduce our group here because they're key players in this. We have Ms. Bridget Hyde, our council chair, Ms. Kim Coates, one of our council members, Ginger Tostate, who is the program director for Keep Tangipahoa Beautiful, and then my bride, First Lady Donna Miller. And this all started when we were running for office in 2015. Donna was very adamant that I had to make litter part of our campaign, and we did. And for several years, 4 years, we did it, and we worked hard, we pushed, and then we got two new council members just two and a half years ago now, who were very committed and helped us find the dollars to do this program here. The litter getter is actually Osprey Foundation, which is actually out of Mobile, but the gentleman who designed it and started it is from Tangipahoa Parish. So he went over there and did it. So we're excited that we were able to bring him back. They're pretty incredible if you hadn't seen them. They work phenomenally well. They catch a lot of things. But again, we have a huge partnership, which was talked about there, private, public, all of our agencies. But one of the big things I asked a reporter who got on to me one day about, did we do enough for litter? And I could feel it just coming up from here, and I hardly ever get angry at any of them. I could just feel it coming up, and I just kind of blurted out, why do we have to do it? We shouldn't have to do that. It shouldn't be there. And it's true, it shouldn't. So one of the things we did is Ginger goes into the schools and teaches fourth graders about litter. How do we start wearing seatbelts? Our kids learned that they had to wear seatbelts, right? And then all of us started wearing them. So we're teaching the children in Tangipahoa Parish to not litter, and hopefully it pushes up the ladder and we start doing a better job. These guys here are the team that makes it work. We have a ton of partners, including Christy and her group, and a lot of privates too have helped out. So we greatly appreciate the recognition, Dr. Brown, the LP committee. DEQ does a phenomenal job. Thank y'all very much for recognizing us.
Compost Now New Orleans is a free residential food waste collection program with multiple daily drop-off sites all over New Orleans. Was founded in 2017. In 2020, Compost Now developed a direct-to-farm or community garden composting program to continue food scrap collection in multiple New Orleans locations after library-based collection sites were closed due to COVID-19. Necessity is indeed the mother of invention, and so a new operation model was born that allowed food waste to be collected and processed in the same location. Throughout 2020 to 2021, Compost Now grew to coordinate 9 residential compost sites in different neighborhoods, plus additional public sites like City Park and Audubon Park. Residents are able to drop off food scraps during select hours of certain days. Scrap food collection also connects new people to their local gardens, allowing them to reach a wider audience. All these collection sites, Compost Now helps build the compost and supplies bins, to conduct signage, promotion, and coordinate a 2-hour monthly volunteer shift. The resulting compost is used to enrich garden soil or given to community members. Part of the programming is the development of Compost Now volunteering shifts where participants learn about the composting process as well as its connection and application to gardening. Community garden sites form a cohesive network of compost infrastructure that works to mitigate landfill waste in a decentralized, closed-loop model. By using a decentralized model, Compost Now further reduces greenhouse gases from waste transport miles and instead builds compost and soil that sequesters carbon. The compost and soil produced by community gardens is used in the same location it is created. Community garden sites are more self-sustaining and widely successful, collecting 1,500 to 2,000 pounds of food scrap per week, diverting food waste from the landfill and turning it into soil. In the last 5 years, Compost Now New Orleans has diverted over 500,000 pounds of food waste from the landfill. Please join Dr. Brown in congratulating Compost Now New Orleans for receiving the ELP Outstanding Achievement Award in the Community Environmental Outreach category for their community garden composting project.
Compost Now uses a decentralized model which involves a lot of people working together to turn waste into soil. Through this new model, we're diverting landfill waste, we're curbing greenhouse gas emissions, and we're connecting people to gardens and gardens to people. We've also started a new volunteering program which is teaching people how to compost in hopes that they'll then teach their communities and so on. Because composting is beautiful, it's inspiring, it connects us to our ancestral roots of being stewards of the earth instead of exploiters, and it shows people the power of their own actions. The most beautiful thing about composting is that it has the power to change how we handle waste. And while I'm super excited to be up here to accept this award, I think it's not enough. I think we need to hold government accountable for the continued decision to landfill lucrative organic material that creates soil in a state that's sinking. We need to hold them accountable for the disproportionate impact that landfilled waste has on minority communities, and we need to demand action. Luckily, there's already a network of people doing exactly that, and if we work together in all of our separate organizations, we can make real change in how we handle waste in Louisiana.
We don't get pats on the back very often. You know, we do lots of things, but getting that pat on the back is just something that we don't do. I've been asked many times, how do you do it, how do you do it? Well, I do it because it's rewarding. If it wasn't, I couldn't, because you just don't get those attaboys. This type of event, it covers every aspect of what we do. You know, I started listening to all the stories, and all the folks in here I have some connection to. Again, the Tazewell Parish is my home parish, and I've interacted with the port for years. The folks in Jefferson Parish are old friends. You know, I have LED lights everywhere. I do my own recycling. I collect rainwater to water my garden. And composting is something that's dear to me. And I will have you know that everybody I talk to, you know, 25% of our waste is food waste. That's absolutely, it absolutely makes no sense. But just like everything else, you have to have that in use. There's got to be some way to, even if we recycle, there's got to be an in use, and we got to be looking at ways to bring costs down or subsidize. But overall, every one of us, every man, woman, and child, generates about 4 pounds of garbage a day. And most folks don't know where it goes. All they know is they put it in a black bag and they put it in a container, and it's gone twice a week. But there are folks that manage that waste, and again, a quarter of it is food waste. So between animal feed, soil recreation, there should be things that we do. One of the things I want to tell this group is we just won a $2 million competitive grant for our Brownsfield program. So everybody that's got that piece of property, you're trying to figure out what to do, how to put it back into commerce. We've got monies available that will help you do that initial assessment on that property. That's one of the things that I've often used my millennial employees for. You know, I keep saying that, you know, when we work 40, 60, 70 hours a week. They don't do that. They think differently than we do. They've never been without a computer. They've never been without the internet. So I went, Brownsfield, they can take that old thing and make it new just by sitting in front of a computer screen and imagining it. So we just won a competitive grant for assessments. I'm almost sure we're going to win about the same amount for cleanups. So as you go back to your properties, to your municipalities, look at what you can use some of that money for to make something old something new. One of my favorite examples is in the Tremé area in New Orleans on Music Street. St. Rose de Lima Catholic Church was closed since Katrina. And 3 years ago, we actually gave them $100,000 to remove some underground storage tanks. EPA gave them several $100,000, and we cleaned up the site. And what's significant is we gave that Community Development Corporation a certificate of completion. That means that they are no longer responsible for any past liability. Now that property you can go borrow money on it. So now that property is a 120-seat off-Broadway theater that they have theme nights every night. And I was like, boy, the light bulb just went off. We took something that was closed for 15 years, and now it's something that's given back to the community. So I want you to go back and look at how you can use our Brownsfield program. I want to thank you for all that you've done, because every one of you are doing what we all want to do, and that's making sure that our planet is sustainable. When it comes to LED, when it comes to trash and litter, as a matter of fact, as part of the governor's budget, he created a litter task force that a lot of us sit on. He's put $2 million just for litter abatement. So if you've got a program, there's going to be money available for that. But it is a learned behavior. Litter abatement is certainly a learned behavior. You know, what makes somebody finish their Happy Meal, drive down to the corner and throw it out? I can't figure that out. Maybe y'all can help me with that. But when it comes to transportation and the way we move products, it's all sustainable in the way we should do it. You know, we've got our clean fuels folks. We know we're heavily involved with electric vehicles, and Louisiana is ahead of the curve. We've already created our alternative fuel corridors. Every one of our interstates already designated. We got the first fully electric vehicle interstate fleet right here at LDEQ. I drive it from time to time. Some folks are not used to it, but ultimately, we are ahead of the curve when it comes to these alternative fuels. And again, just everything that y'all do, rain gardens. But where's the Memorial Center folks? They reduced. I heard they reduced the amount of trash by 52%. They got rain gardens that collect storm water. That's the way that we go. That's the way that we're moving. So we're there. I want y'all to keep doing what you do. I want you to enlist more folks because I want this program to be twice as big next year.
It's recognition that we've been actually doing something. When you know how much food waste is being wasted, it's hard to take a step back and see that you're still making an impact. So it's just really good to see that we are.